and Needham not interested in defending with the 8-6. Warm welcome to you all. It's been a crazy couple of months here in the Czech Republic. Live poker back, record-breaking fields in the EPT Prague over the last few weeks. Normal service has resumed on our live stream. We have the Swiss Poker Open, obviously you're watching today and tomorrow. And then next week we have the France Poker Festival, another 500,000 guaranteed. And that leads up nicely to the World Series of Poker circuit. 3 million in guarantees for that festival that kicks off in a couple of weeks. But for the next couple of days, it's all about the Swiss Poker Open. Now, Dalibor, regular here in King's Resort, featured him several times on our live stream. All these players in the money, of course, they've locked up €1,500. Buy-in 500 plus 50. It's all about that money up top. €81,900, and of course, this event will be distributing World Series of Poker Europe main event tickets, top 6. We'll be back in the resort. So, very warm welcome to all our viewers on the Twitch platform and Facebook, of course, we're broadcasting on. Been a couple of weeks since I've been in the booth calling the action, but I understand that you had some super personalities over the last few weeks, including and not limited to my good friend Jason. And then before that we had my fellow countrymen, Dara O'Carney and David Lappin. Shout out to all three guys who I believe are grinding tonight in some of the Sunday majors. Best of luck to them. We're going to be right here for, I guess, 4 to 5 hours. Pretty tense. You can just glean from watching the first couple of hands. Starting to get serious here. That's Dalibor, 9-10 under the gun, hugely experienced Dalibor. However, this gentleman is the real standout quality on the table. Multiple tournament winner, World Series of Poker bracelet gold ring winner. And I remember recently him taking down a high roller here in the resort, but right now he's going to open with the King Jack. Lines are 10, 25, 65k, open from Emil, but Payam with the real hand here, sitting on 2.1 million. Payam, one of the big stacks on the table. You'd expect a 3-bet from Payam. And there is the 3-bet to 180k with the Ace King Christian. Well, 2 picture cards, but can't really see him putting in his last 285,000. That's what he'd have to do. It's all in or fold for him, but he does let it go. Fold it right around to Antonio, who was also short. Big blind, ace queen. I mean, I'm putting it in here. Horrible spot. Too big a hand, you would feel, to let go. He's already invested 50k. Wow. Very decent laydown from Antonio. Emil Bise certainly saved him. Emil folds there. Payam opens, I think for sure. Antonio goes with the ace queen, but too much action in his opinion, and he lets it go. Hugely disciplined fold. Now, that is the 3-better Payam, and this is the opener. Emil BC. King Jack off, and with just 715 behind. Out of position. Difficult to see Emil continue. I think he just lets this go, I really do. Four-bet certainly crossing his mind. King, hugely relevant card, blocking all kinds of premium hands. But Emil deciding the way forward is just to cut his losses, let go the King Jack off, and Payam takes down the pot. And we still have Antonio, folded ace queen in the big blind. Still alive, still battling, but he is short. Blinds 10,000, 25,000. I believe Antonio is down to about 10 bigs. We'll be posting the small blind in Dalibor. Mijic from Croatia will be posting the big blind. Under the gun will be Emil Bise. Now, 5-4 off, under the gun. Emil certainly getting rid of this, and now Alberto, 6-4 clubs. Too early a position to be getting involved in Payam, one of the bigger stacks, sitting on 2.2 million, more than double the average. Christian. 10-8 suited, one of the shorter stacks. Leaves himself with just 9 bigs, sitting on about 11 in total. He makes it 2 bigs. Min raise with the 10-8 suited. That actually gets the job done. Wins some precious chips for Christian ends. Brings the stack up to 345. Oh, 14 bigs, close to. Let's see Christian there in seat 1 to the left of the dealer. This is the Swiss Poker Open 2022, 550 buy-in. Over 1,000 entries. We just have about 50 players left. Alberto with the king 6 folds. You can see the field size top right there, displaying the total amount of players left in the field, 53,039 entries, indicating the guarantee was met, the $500,000 guarantee for the 500 plus 50 buy-in. Fisher is the big stack on the table. Opens once again ace 8 and a suited ace 5 for Emile Bisset. And this is interesting situation. He's in the big blind. He's certainly going to be continuing. There's doubt about that. But in what way will he continue in this hand? That's the question. Will he 3-bet with this ace 5 suited? Does look like he has decided to flat call with the ace 5 of hearts. So we're going to see a flop here. Ace 5 versus ace 8, and Emile has completely missed. No connection whatsoever to this board. This king high board you feel will favour Fisher. Pre-flop opener. He's got a lot of kings in his range, given that he's the pre-flop aggressor. On that king high 2-spade board, continuation from Fisher, and he takes down the pot. Emile felt he might 3-bet with that ace 5 hand, but decided just to flat. Both missed the flop, was 2 spades. Fisher did have that ace of spades. I guess was relevant. However, king high board, reasonable decision to continue, takes it down, and now under the gun is Payam Ansarian with the Jack 9 Christian, playing just about 14 bigs folds, and we move right around to bingo for bongo. Well, that is pretty tight. Ace 7 of spades, but Fisher won't be folding the king 8 of spades. $70K, king 8 of spades. Fisher, you can see, looking to take control here. He does have a sizable chip advantage. I'm surprised. You can see bingo for bongo there on the left hand side of the screen, immediately to the chip leader's right hand side, sporting the New York hat. Ace 7 of spades folded. Then the big stack Fisher look down at king 8, straight away opens, takes down these blinds and ante, both big blind and big blind ante, valued at 25,000, small blind 10,000, so 60K out there pre-flop. Average stack just about $1 million. 50K starting stack, 1,000 players, approximately 50 million in play. One of these players will need to accumulate every single chip in order to be awarded that huge, monstrous first place payout of 81,900 plus that World Series of Poker main event seat. All players, of course, guaranteed 1,500 plus. So they've 3x their initial stake, but you can just get the feel from this. These players firmly focused. on bigger rewards. All that money, of course, big money paid out tomorrow on the final day. So, Dalibor raising in the cutoff with the King 9. Well, looks like Needham limped with the King 10 suited. Dalibor raised to 75 and actions moved down around to Payam, who will be folding given the action before him gets out of the way. So the original limper, the short stacked Needham, interesting limp fold with the King 10 suited. Dalibor steals one. Needham getting mugged there. Now, this is the shortest stack on the table. Antonio, well, he can't really do anything with Jack 2 off. Very impressive fold with the Ace Queen. A couple of hands ago. Still alive. Anything is possible. Nothing going to happen with the Jack 2. He folds and Dalibor folds. Emil Bise. Ace 3 off folds, but El Barto will certainly open. Pocket pair on the button folded around to him. Has the snowman, looks up at the players in the blinds. Well, Payam has picked up a hand here in the small blind position. King Queen versus a button raise. Could see a 3-bet here. Payam. Well, I mean, Alberto's opening range here quite wide, given that it was folded around to him on the button, so all options open to Payam. He elects to flat, and this is a real interesting scenario. Christian, just 12 bigs behind, looks down at King Jack. Well, could have pulled the trigger, you know. Decides to flat call with the King Jack. And, well, it's over for Christian, who's flopped top and bottom. But Payam top 2, Alberto, has absolutely none of this. But you might see him continue. Well, Alberto's not going to get a chance. He's going to just get out of town here. Pocket 8s, 3 overcards, and all the money's going to go in. Alberto with just 800,000 behind. Once Christian clearly realizes stack to pot ratio, he's going to put them all in. Christian's completely committed. Payam, top 2. Christian, unfortunately, has flopped 2 pair, top and bottom. And there's a little bit of hemming and hawing here, but all the money's going to go in. Payam from the UK, absolutely in control. Christian snaps off the all-in rip, thinking he's ahead with 2 pair, and he's going to get the disastrous news. Couldn't really be much worse, and you can see by his expression. Now, what would have happened if Christian ripped the 12 bigs behind pre-flop? I think he gets a call, from Alberto, and perhaps pay him. Just let's go the king queen. Well, we'll never know. But Christian, on his way out of this Swiss Poker Open main event, no help on Turner River. Elimination for Christian ends. Neil Bisset. Wishing Christian all the best. Christian, of course, based in Switzerland. Payam Ansarian from the UK, now sitting on approximately 3 million, about 2.8 million. Really interesting spot. You kind of feel that Christian, well, he could have actually doubled through. Alberto. If he got it in pre, Alberto may have called. Of course he calls, and you would guess that Payam, let's go, the king queen. Now Antonio looking down the ace as well. This will help his cause. Now 75, which is a 3x with the aces. Sizing critical. Does look strong from such a short stack. Payam with a suited ace in the button. Looks interested. Makes the call, and Needham getting a massive price, but 5-4 offsuit, not strong enough to continue. So we're going to go to a flop. Ace 3 suited versus the bullets, and I think you're just going to see Antonio continue here. He just has a pot size bet behind. Difficult for Payam to float here given the situation. Antonio, I mean, he's completely committed. He's most of a stack over the line. No chance of stealing this pot if you're in Payam's seat. So he would have to hit if he was to continue. What does he have? Ace high, backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight. Still thinking about it. Getting a count. Antonio gets a stack up to 410,000. 50-minute clock here on day 2 at the Swiss Poker Open, so plenty of play. Super deep.
Good evening, guys. You have to do the work on your own. Say it again? You have to do the work on your own. No shuffling machine. No joke. I'm letting you.
That's the graphic showing the chip count here in our feature table. 8 players. We just lost Christian N's flop top and bottom pair. No good against top 2. Now, this guy's showing plenty of ambition, Fisher. Under the gun open with the A7 offsuit. He can afford to do this. He's got the chips. And the table playing just a little tight. Apart from this guy, Dalibor, of course. He's up for a battle. Emil Bisse, well, he is limited. Just with 600k behind, which is about half the average stack size. This is second in chips on the table. I am in the cutoff here. Well, Queen 6 offsuit. Into the dustbin and the short stack on the table. Needham folds. Now, bingo for bongo. Big blind, 10 deuce. He's certainly just going to be dumping this, given that we've seen him fold the ace 7 suited in mid position. He's not going to be getting involved in 10-2 off. Bingo for bongo now, posting small blind chip leader in the big blind. You can see Fisher right hand side of your screen, blue mask. Now, Antonio, 410,000, 16 bigs. Emil Bisse, ace 9. Emil Bisse, I believe he's the top live tournament earner from Switzerland. Could be wrong, perhaps one of you statisticians in the chat will correct me. Can't think of another player from the nation of Switzerland with the success that Emil has. I am with a pretty loose call here, Queen Jack offsuit. Fisher, the big stack in the big blind position with ace 8. Interesting dynamics here. Emil with ace 9. Who's the opener? Flat call from Payam, one of the big stacks, and Fisher in the big blind, who's connected. He's made second pair, good enough to continue should Emil fire on this king high board. King 8-7, 2 hearts. Emil checks, and Payam with the advantage of position here checks back, and now Fisher will think he's in good shape, and I think 7 is a pretty safe card for him to continue. He's more 7s in his range as the big blind player defending. So he bets 90,000, a 40% pot size bet. difficult for BC to continue here. He's got none of this, not closing the action. Can't really see BC put any more money in, but he puts in the 90,000. He thinks ace high is good here, and you know what? Against a player like Fisher, he can be good, but not on this occasion. King of the river. It's a real interesting situation. I mean, Emil will call another bet here should Fisher value bet, but Fisher's going for the check call, and Emil instantly checks back, but he's going to see ace 8 outflopped him. That's your chip leader here at the Swiss Poker Open feature table. And then to his left, our right, is Antonio Albano, one of the shorter stacks. Emil Bisse taking a big hit there. Emil now down to about 20 bigs. Super deep this day 2 Swiss Poker Open, 50-minute clock. Blinds 10,000, 25,000, and Dalibor folds, BC folds, and Roberto gets out of the way. This is Payam 9-4 offsuit in the hijack position. Needham in the cutoff. Well, I mean, Needham decides to limp once again. He got totally exploited the last time, and it looks like he's going to get punished once again. Fisher raising in the small blind. I mean, Fisher has the goods on this occasion. Antonio Albano, ace 10. Well, this is going to save him. You can see Antonio, he's not liking it because Fisher's so active, but Fisher with the goods. 60,000, Needham, limp folded. Last orbit with the king 10, and he's going to do the same. It looks like he limps, folds with the queen jack, and Fisher takes down another pot. 3.3 million now. The big stack here on our feature table. If you've just tuned in, you're watching the Swiss Poker Open. 1,000 plus entries. Buying 500 plus 50. 500,000 guaranteed. That guarantee was met with 1,039 total entries. We're down to just 47 players, I believe. Now, under the gun, the star player on this feature table, the Swiss Poker superstar. You can see actually he's wearing 2 World Series rings and a bracelet, which is a little bit of a tell. Now, bingo for bongo, hasn't played a hand. Not sure why not. He's playing a tight to his right strat. Not sure how far that's going to get him. This is Fisher. who's the polar opposite. He's looking to get involved, looking to mix it up. And you can see Antonio knows
5 pass.
Fisher can't always have it, but Fisher,
6 go.
well, I'm surprised Dalibor, with the ace jack in the big blind versus a button open from the most active player, decides to just flat. Well, I mean, I don't mind this because he's totally disguised his hand and he's flop top pair with the flush draw.
6 turn.
Fisher has a small piece of this bottom pair, no club though,
80,000.
but he will continue. 80,000 continuation bet and Dalibor continues with the story.
6 go.
Check call, smooth call from Dalibor. Top pair, flush draw. Well, that's 100% now.
6 turn.
Fisher might go again, you know. He's not putting Dalibor in an ace, that's for sure. Reasoning to himself that Dalibor has the club draw, but nice check back. He's putting him on a king for sure, and he's not going to move him off a king. And then the 6 of clubs, which could be problematic for Fisher if Dalibor checks, because Fisher may rep a big flush. And that's what's going through Fisher's mind. He knows his 8 isn't any good here. He's in all likelihood up against aces and kings. He's putting Dalibor and King X, and now he's thinking, can I move him off this hand? But decides against it. Waves the white flag, and you can see Fisher having a little smile. Kind of pleased with himself. You'd expect that he didn't pull the trigger on the river there. Dalibor, of course, from Croatia, hugely experienced. Featured him a few times on our stream. So lots of quality on this table. Fisher, you can see in the left, he just lost one, but for me, in total control here. We're 8-handed. We did lose Christian Enns a short time ago. Alberto folds now. Payam, 2.5 million stack, which is about, well, it's more than double the average, which is about 1.1 million. This is a Nedum, ace 9. Well, that's, I mean, what's he waiting for? Well, bingo for bongo.
4 pass.
Just let's rip.
5 pass.
18 and a half bigs.
6 pass.
Ace, a jack. Well, he's not getting called by anything weaker, that's for sure. Ace 10, maybe.
7.
Not likely though. Bingo for bongo. First hand we've seen. He rips for the 18 and a half big blinds. Ace jack. Gets his stack up to 21 big blinds. Swiss High Roller also running tonight. Close to 100 entries, almost 100k in the prize pool. Just about half the field left there. 25k up top in that Swiss poker high roller event.
9 pass.
1K buy-in, 96 players, 91,200 in the prize pool.
3 pass. 4 pass. 5 pass. 6 pass. 7 raise all in.
Well, interesting spot. Emil, Queen 10. Let's rip. Blind versus blind. Alberto picks up ace 8. It's very close. Alberto, well, he knows he's ahead here a ton of times. But even, I mean, it's a tough call. Because even though he's likely to be ahead, he's usually flipping. And he could be running into an absolute monster, bigger ace. 9s, 10s would do this. 8s, 9s, 10s for sure would do this. Emil B say, let's rip, shows one card, takes down the big blind ante. Roberto folds the ace 8. There you have it, the Swiss Poker Open chip count graphic displaying the stack sizes for all the players here on our feature table. Fisher, 125 bigs, super deep. And then the short stack with 10 bigs and Needham, who you see in the center of your screen now.
2 pass.
45 players
3 pass. 4 pass.
from 1,039 entries.
Pass.
Coming towards the end of this 10K, 25K line level. Next level 15,000, 30,000. Really good structure. Emil moves in here. On the button. Pretty big rip here. 465, it's about 18 bigs. I am with King 10. Well, he's not going to be calling this. I am asking exactly how much Emil Bise has. Payam shows the king, folds. Bise takes down another pot. Risky, but he's getting the job done. Look at these gold circuit rings. World Series bracelet. Multiple tournament winner, Emil Bise. And one of the main men behind the Swiss Poker Open.
Three pass. 4 pass.
Dalibor folds the suited king. Emil Bise cut off. I think this is strong enough to open. King 9.
7 call.
Well, Emil decides to limp with the king 9.
8 pass.
Button folds and now small blind. 10 deuce.
9 call. 2 check. 3 pass to the flop.
Short stack in the big blind. Just 9 bigs behind. 3, 5, 6. Open ender for the short stack. Good shot. Backdoor club draw for Payam. Emil with the 2 overcards is going to go.
2 raise.
Check. All in rip with the open ender. Emil folds the king 9 and Payam's going to fold this.
9 pass. Dobrze, nie jakie głos na phone.
So, new arrival on our feature table, seat 1. Christian Enns was busted out some time back.
Can you put the stick behind it?
So we're now once again 9-handed.
Small blind, please. Better for me to put the cards. Small blind, please. 4 pass.
So the new player just has to sit this one out.
5 pass.
Let the button pass him. In the small blind is Needham. Bingo for bongo in the big blind.
6
This
pass.
is Dalibor folding. Now Emil Bise.
7
8-3 off. He folds. Alberto in the cutoff.
8 pass.
He folds, but Payam should be opening. Playing 2.5 million. Payam Ansarian from the UK. King 10. Big blind 25k. You can see Payam looking up at the clock. Well, clock is actually reading 30k, but we did start this hand before the
Raise 75,000.
end of the level. Well, he makes it 75. 3x, and both players in the blinds playing a little bit tight. But of course, bingo for bongo. Can't do anything with the nut low 3 deuce offsuit. Payam takes down the pot.
So the blinds up 15,000, 30,000, 30,000, big blind empty.
And you can hear the dealer confirm what we already knew, that this is a new blind level. 15,000, 30,000. And now pressure on these shorter stacks with the introduction of a new higher blind level. This is what creates the action.
5 pass.
Forced blinds going up and up. No chance of sitting back and hiding. You got to get out there and play. Emil Bise, 500,000 in chips. Queen 7 suited. Big blind is 30,000.
Raise 85,000. 8 pass.
85,000 with the Queen 7 suited.
9 pass.
Mugley, Ace 10, playing 2.5 million,
Raise.
and straight away announces himself on the feature table with a 3-bet.
235,000.
235,000.
2 pass.
Emile Bisset getting it shoved back in his face. Both player and the blinds just have to fold, and Emile Bisset is going to have to fold this also. Pretty interesting 3-bet from the German. Given the stack size of Emile Bisset, I mean, were Emile to 4-bet rip, I mean, Mugley is committed, has to call off. But Ace 10, I mean, he's never liking it. Well, this is incredible.
7 come.
Bisset. This is, I mean, Bisset has put
10 more. 30.
a huge proportion of a stack in here. He's put in almost half a stack with Queen 7. Can he hit? I mean,
7 check.
Mugley has absolutely smashed this. Might see a check back from Mugley, hoping that Bisset catches up, and Bisset picks up the flush draw, and now he's committed. Bisset
65.
puts in a small blocker type bet to get to the river. And it gets there. Emile Bisset
7 the delay. 1 call.
will get the full double. It's pretty incredible hand how this played out. Backdoor flush. I mean, he'd half a stack in. He looked dead in the water on the ace 8 flop. Mugley checked back, which you don't blame him. And Bisset right back in at 35 big blinds. Mugley takes a hit straight away.
It's 2 and pass.
That's quite incredible how that hand played out. Bisset opened with the Queen 7 suited from a 500k stack with a big blind at 30,000. I mean, that's suspect by itself. But then when faced with a 3-bet from the player who just sat down at the table, Mugley, Bisset made the call, which I was surprised. Ace 8. Mugley absolutely smashed the flop. Decided to check back and let his opponent catch up. Heart on the turn, giving Bisset the flush draw, and then Bisset put in a very small blocker type bet to designed to get to the river. Of course, Mugley smooth calls, but then Bisset, well, not only did he catch up, he overtook Mugley by hitting the flush in the river. And that brings Emile Bisset up to 35 bigs. Close to average stack, which is around the 40 big blind mark. Bisset, small pair, under the gun +1 while he just lets this go. These small pairs, so difficult to flop. Good. Bise just explaining his thought process to Dalibor Mijic. Dalibor saying, how come that never happens me? Payam, King Queen. We're going to see an open here from Payam Masarian, UK player. "44 players. Mowgli. King Queen, same hand. 2 million. Puts in the 80k with King Queen. Bingo for Bongo doesn't realise the action's on him. And now he does. He folds. This is Fisher in the small blind with a suited king. This guy is very tricky, Fisher. But not going to get involved this time. Antonio, well, sub 10 bigs, 5 a deuce off, big price, 50k to call. He's getting like close to 5-1. Very tempting, but his hand strength is just so weak. He decides to release his cards to the dealer. And we're going to go to a flop here. Payam versus Mowgli. Mowgli, who just lost a big one. Both players connect. Mowgli has the slight advantage equity-wise with that Queen of Diamonds potential flush. Goes check, check, and 4 on the turn. Both players pretty comfortable now. They're ahead. We're going to see Payam go for value here. I think Mowgli just flat calls this 80,000. No need to go crazy. Six of clubs in the river. I'm going to go check from Payam. Well, he's going to go for value again. Targeting all the 8 X's and weaker kings. And we're going to see a chop pot. "42 players remain. All of these players guaranteed €1,768. Buy-in for this was 550. Guarantee for this event, 500,000. The 1,000+ entries have produced that 500,000 prize pool. And first place payout 81,900. And top 6 actually are awarded the World Series of Poker Europe main event seats. And what an event. It was one of the standout events of the last couple of years, last 3 or 4 years, this World Series of Poker Europe main event. I mean, there was a state of emergency, a call like announced in the Czech Republic, but the Kings got permission to run the event. Had to comply with a huge amount of restrictions. It was really incredible. The event went ahead and actually smashed all records. Highest number ever of entries for that World Series of Poker Europe main event. So, I mean, the feeling is that 2022 World Series of Poker Europe will be absolutely huge. And the top 6 awarded seats here from this Swiss Poker Open. Emil Bise. Back in business, Emil. Ace-9 suited. Opens to 80,000. Antonio can't call in the small blind given his stack size. Dalibor 8-4 suited, not interested, and a BC up to 1.2 million. Which is pretty much exactly average 1.2 million with 42 players remaining. With a couple hours left in this day 2 stream, we're going to get down to 24 players. Will take a few hours, play pretty deep. Then we're going to have the final table tomorrow. French Poker Festival next weekend. Now, Payam opens with the King Jack, and Dalibor in the small blind with Queen Jack makes pretty loose call in my opinion. Gives Emil a big price, but he's not going to continue with Queen 5. Dalibor out of position here. Queen Jack off. Payam pre-flop razor. King Jack both miss on this 6-3-3 board. 2 diamonds. Payam the only player with a diamond, and you can see that's why his equity is so big, 87%. Very difficult for Dalibor to continue. Absolutely none of this. Dalibor Mijic. Pretty loose call pre, but is he going to set something up here? No, he decides to give the cards over. You can see the field size top right, indicating just 41 players left here in our Swiss Poker Open main event. 1,000 plus players entered. All these players, of course, have secured €1,768 for themselves, but massive money up top, 81,900 plus that World Series of Poker Europe main event seat we spoke about. Top 6 will be back in the resort later this year to play that World Series main event. Now, bingo for bongo. Well, he's certainly going to be playing the aces, but I'm just absolutely hating this shove. And like, it's going to get the ace queen to fold. It's like bingo for bongo. He's not playing any hands. So ace queen, not really in good shape here. You can see Fisher folds the ace queen, where if bingo for bongo just open for 2 or 3 big blinds, I'm sure that Fisher gets involved, and who knows, may even 3-bet. But bingo for bongo never getting any action. And look at this, ace 9 in the big blind. Certainly would be defending. So I mean, you gotta make the most out of these premiums when they're dealt to you. I just really don't see that's the optimum way to play the aces. However, I could be totally wrong here. Maybe that is the move. I hope someone picks up a decent pair. Ace king. Well, I mean, they're the only hands I'm thinking that would call. And you're blocking so many of them hands with the two aces in your hand. I mean, it's just so improbable that you're getting action. Where if you just min raise, that leaves the door open, especially to someone like this gentleman Fisher, who is, well, I mean, he's super aggro. He picks up base 10 here, 75,000 open, and Dalibor Midget folds this occasion. Queen Jack. So under the gun, the short stack with 10 bigs is Needham, and this is great situation. Please don't move all in. Bingo for bongo. 20 bigs. Well, it's not actually. Do you know what? It's not with the big blind at 30,000. It's not disastrous, but I mean, I don't see bingo for bongo getting any action. Certainly won't from Payam. Let's see what Mowgli has in the big blind. Jack deuce off. Bingo for bongo. Takes it down. Brings his stack up to 20 bigs. And I think we're going to lose the short stack. Needham, who was sitting on 10 bigs. He was the next big blind. You can see the TD just lead him off to one of the outer tables. That would tell me we're down to 40 players. 5 tables, 8 players in each table. Average stack close to 1.3 million. There you have it, the graphic confirming the numbers. 40 players left in the mix. Dalibor Midget, ace 10. Makes it 100,000. Mowgli, ace queen, 3 betting coming. Mowgli, don't mess about. decides to just flat call in the small blind and bingo for bongo with the pocket pair. Pocket sixes in the big blind. Bingo for bongo. We'll set mine. Ace queen versus ace 10 versus sixes in both Mowgli and Dalibor. Flop the gut shot. Queen or a 10 would give either player straight while their ace 10 gets the check mark. Dalibor makes the straight, and it's not good for Mowgli. Who has made a pair. Mowgli does check first to speak. Check from bingo for bongo, who's missed this board. And Dalibor bets 125,000, which is getting called, no doubt. Mowgli, ace queen, and there's no way of winning this hand. There's 2 10s left in the deck. One of these would give him a chop pot. Nine in the river. 4 cards to the straight. Mowgli's going to be checking, trying to get to showdown with ace queen. He's not going to get to showdown. Dalibor has the nuts. Sizing, that's the question. Dalibor, 750k behind. There's close to 600 in the pot. But given that Mowgli is check call turn and out checked river, Dalibor goes for 200k, it looks like. I think this is pretty cool sizing. 35%, what a fold. Good fold from Mowgli. That 9 did help, of course. 4 cards to straight out there. $40 players left here at the Swiss Poker Open main event here in King's Resort. Another super event. Great atmosphere all over. Also have the high roller currently running. We had 96 entries, just 32 remain. 25k up top in that Swiss Poker high roller event. Now, Alberto, he's been quiet of late. 22 bigs, ace 4 suited. So just a flat call from Payam with the ace jack. Well, this is a disaster really for Alberto, who's connected. Now there's jackpot opportunities here. And of course he could go ahead by hitting a 4, but he's in trouble here. Nice check though from Alberto. Going for the check call. Payam, you'd expect to bet here. You would certainly have heard from a bigger ace. Ace king would lead out here. You'd expect ace queen to also lead, given that there's a spade draw there. All kinds of straight draws. So I am pretty comfortable. His ace jack in the lead and Alberto in check call mode, but it's going to be expensive. He's going to be paying off Payam on at least one more straight while he goes ahead. No, he doesn't. It's a chop pot here. Aces and sevens with the queen kicker, but Payam with that potential flush. $375 in the pot, and look at the size of this turn bet. $60,000. Alberto doesn't like it, but check calls once again. Now this is really interesting. 6 on the river. Hard for Payam to go again here. Probably goes check, check. But Payam may go for value. Alberto gets out of jail. Split pot. You can see Alberto just winking at Payam there, as if to say, yeah, fair result. But Payam will have his own opinion on how that played out. Now, on the button is Bingo for Bongo, posting blinds Fisher and Antonio Albano. And Dalibor under the gun with the Jack 4 offsuit. You've just tuned in, you're watching the Swiss Poker Open. We're down to just 40 players from 1,039 entries. $500,000 in the prize pool. And this is Payam with double the average stack. 2.6 million, average is 1.3. With 40 players remaining. Payam Ansarian with the sixes in the hijack position. $50-minute clock. Plenty of play in this event. Really is a super structure. And that's why it's so popular. Of course, well supported by the Swiss community. Now Fisher Pocket nines, these are the two big stacks on the table. Just to flatten the small blind with the nines, and Antonio Albano can peel a flop here, getting 4-1, 60k. I mean, it's a big percentage of a stack, but he's got to be calling here. Oh boy, that's a mistake. Antonio lets it go, leaves himself with just 200k behind. Big blind, 30,000, nines versus sixes. Fisher makes a set. Good shot. And look at this. King on the turn. That would have given us straight to the short stack, who would have flopped an open ender. I mean, that's why you call with that kind of price. I mean, it was huge price. And he was certainly getting paid from Fisher. Flopped a set. Now, Payam might call this bet. It's a good shot. And he has combination of the straight draw and flush draw. Eight would give him a bad straight, but would put him in the lead. His clubs are dead. He doesn't know that. His draw to the set is dead also. He's in pretty bad shape here. Misses. 4 diamonds. 500,000 almost in the pot. Fisher licks out 200,000. Payam thinking about making a hero call here. He's missed his flush draw, straight draw. He's like 5th pair, 4 overcards to his sixes. Just beating a bluff. In fact, he's not beating some of Fisher's bluffs. 7-8. Well, he pays him off. Fisher wins a big one. And from the short stacks point of view, it's pretty disgusting. Antonio Albano in the big blind with Queen Jack. It was 60 to complete with 240,000 out there. He threw away the Queen Jack. You can see the graphic here showing the chip counts. Antonio down to 7 bigs. Bingo for bongo, 15 big blinds. Then we have the giant stack, one of the overall tournament chip leaders, sitting on 3.6 million. 120 bigs. Fisher. Now, Bise, under the gun, 10s. Well, that's just a mistake. And that perhaps the graphics were incorrect. I just don't believe he'd fold 10s there. You'd see a 10 in the hand of Alberto, so there could have been a mix-up with the graphics there. I'm not really clear. Mogley opens 6-4 suited, and Fisher with 7s on the button position. Puts in the 70,000. Dalibor in the big blind with ace 5 off, 40,000 to call. Puts in the additional 40,000. We're going to go and see a flop. Ace 5 versus 6-4 versus 7s. Mowgli with the 6-4. The pre-flop raiser. Fisher with the pair of 7s in position. Ace, Queen, Deuce. Dalibor is the one that connects. And it's well disguised, this ace, given that he's in the big blind position. Mowgli, of course, is going to be repping this ace, queen, deuce board. He leads. 7s, I think, just folds at this stage. Fisher. Pocket 7s. Not closing the action. Does fold. But Dalibor ace 5, he's going to continue. Now, depending on what comes on the turn here, it's hard for Mowgli to put Dalibor in an ace because he would have heard from a lot of the aces pre. Now, he picks up a flush draw, Mowgli. He may decide to check back free card to the flush. Or he could fire again and target weak queens, straight draws, king 10, jack 10 type hands. That's what he's going to do. Going to fire once again. And he's sizing up a little bit, about 250, it looks like, about 60% of the pot. 275,000, difficult for Dalibor. Obviously, kicker is his big issue here. But he's disguised as ace. So not ready to give up just yet. He's going to be putting in 275. This is a massive pot. 1 million plus will be in the pot should Dalibor check called here. It does call. Now, heart from Mowgli would be sick, but it's the king. Mowgli's completely missed. 6 high, never going to win. Million in the pot. Dalibor, but less than a pot size bet behind. Dalibor is just trying to get to showdown. He checks. And now Mowgli is not finished. This is very strong play. Moves all in. Now, this is interesting. Dalibor might figure this one out. Jack 10 gets there. And it's more likely Dalibor, the one with the Jack 10. Jack 10 of hearts would still be sticking around here on flop and turn. Gets there in the river. Is really tough. Wow. Mowgli showing his quality. Raise pre with 6 high. Bet flop, turn, jams river, moves Dalibor off the best hand, top pair. Significant pot. Brings him up to 2.3 million, I believe, 2.4 million. Chip leader still Fisher, playing over 3 million. And short stack, you can see on the button, is Antonio Albano. Bingo for Bongo. Rips with the ace queen. Brings him up to 600k, 20 bigs. Once again. Mowgli. 2.2 million stack. $38 players remain. 1.3 million is the average stack. All of these players, they have locked up €1,768. Viewers just tuning in, this is the Swiss Poker Open. It's the main event of the festival. 500 buy-in, $500,000 guaranteed. We have made the guarantee with over 1,000 entries. You can see the top right there showing, well, saying there's 40 left of 1,039 entries. This is the big stack, the chip leader, 3.5 million. 115 big blinds for Fisher. Makes it 80,000 blinds, 15 and 30. Not going to get any action from Bisay in the small blind. Don't think Bisay realizes the action is on him. Well, actually he does. Not sure what this is about. Eight-2 offsuit. Not sure what's going on there, but Alberto will be snap folding the 4-3 off. Fisher takes down another pot, 3.6 million, 120 bigs. Great situation. Late on day 2 here in King's Resort, just after midnight. Going to be here another couple hours at least. Going to play to 24 players. On this 30,000 blind level, drawing to a close. Mowgli, so much heart, very creative. This is a bingo bongo with the king 6. He's going to be folding this 20 big blinds. This is the chip leader. Fisher's going to open here with king 9 off. Well, that surprises me. Antonio Albano, shorty, 200,000. Desperate times for the short stack. And what's going on? For king 9, Dalibor doesn't want to get involved in the cutoff. Bisay on the button folds, so just blind v blind Alberto. 10-8 suited. I am with Jack 8 off. Alberto limps and Payam will be checking back here. We should be seeing a flop. 994. Both miss. Both with the backdoor straight possibility. Backdoor hearts for Alberto, but the 3 of diamonds on the turn. I think this goes check, check. Well, Alberto has to check. Payam could steal this now. Well, he is in the lead with the Jack 8, so he checks again. Nobody wants this. That's a card that could help Alberto win this. Ace on the river. He's got more aces as the small blind, but he checks. And he's going to lose this one. Jack high wins. Could have stole it there in the river, Alberto. Payam takes it down. 2.2 million stack. Average is 1.3 million. Now, bingo for bongo. Under the gun, well, Queen 9 will certainly be folded. Fisher, 8-6. He is suited. Makes it 80,000. Blind still 1530, but this level has now officially expired. So next hand will be 20,000, 40,000. Action on Emil Bise, suited king in the cutoff. Payam, small blind, 7-2 off. And Mowgli not interested in clashing with the big stack. Dealer announces the new level, 20,000, 40,000. And you can see the short stack in the right hand side of your screen directly opposite the dealer. Just 5 bigs in his stack. That's Antonio Albano, the Italian. You can see him there with the sunglasses, right hand side, black Kings t-shirt. There's some really cool accessories and clothing on the Kings website. We've got the new blacklisted range there. And you can see BC sporting the Kings cap. But yeah, log on there, kingsshop.com. Some top quality apparel. Check out the blacklisted clothing line. Now, BC in the hijack just limps in with the 10-9 suited. Small blind, Mowgli comes in for value with the Queen 5 and a check from bingo for bongo. Good shot for BC and Mowgli. But BC is just going to take this down. End of hand. Payam opens on the cutoff. 95,000 with the 9-8. Bingo for Bongo will be folding for sure. King 6 small blind, he won't get involved. But this guy is a different beast altogether, Fisher. Ace Jack will certainly be proceeding. Looks like just a smooth call in the big blind with the Ace Jack. Puts in the additional 55k. Gonna see a flop. Once again, Payam from the UK and the chip leader, Fisher, clashing. Well, that's good. Jack in the window, Queen, Queen, 2 pair for Fisher. Good shot for Payam. Payam with the continuation bet of 100,000. It's going to get snapped. Fisher. Check calls, has that 100k chip in instantly. Needs to avoid a 10. Well, full house, he gets the check mark. Not possible for Payam to win this. Can split with a jack. And Fisher getting a bigger full house, but that ace is something that Payam could rep, but he checks back and Fisher scoops the 450k pot. I don't think he was getting another penny out of Payam. 3.8 million. The big blind of 40,000. Great situation for Fisher. Chip leader Fisher from Hungary. One of the overall leaders. Just 38 players left in this Swiss Poker Open. You can see the graphic there showing 1.3 million average stack top right. Dalibor under the gun. Well, it's going to be interesting because Antonio is pretty much committed to this hand. He's half a stack in blind, close to half. 80,000 of 200,000 posted. Bingo for Bongo. Suited king on the button, but not strong enough for Bingo for Bongo. Super selective with his range. Before entering a pot, Bingo for Bongo, he folds. Fisher, 8-5. He might give the shorty a walk, you know. He knows that Antonio is committed. He's not going to get him to fold, but he goes for it with the 8-5. And Antonio picks up a premium. But look at the equity, how close it is. Incredible. Ace Queen versus 8-5 off. Antonio, not even 2-1 favorite. Loving this king's top he's sporting. Needs to hold, needs to avoid 8 or 5. All in for his tournament life. 7-5-9. Well, that's not good. Pair and a good shot for Fisher. Ace or queen needed for Antonio. Needs to hit ace or queen. It's over. 10 on the river. The short stack, what can he do? He says, well, he could have called with that queen jack in the big blind a couple of orbits ago. That's what he could have done. Getting a massive prize, just 40,000 to complete. Would have made a straight and doubled. But it ended up, he got so short that he got the 8-5 blind versus blind, putting him all in. And that is end of tournament for Antonio Albano. We lost Christian Enns much earlier, and then Needham Salchin, who was the short stack. He was moved to one of the outer tables. And now the second elimination from our feature table, Antonio Albano from Italy. Disposed of by Fischer, the big stack from Hungary. This is the Swiss Poker Open, just 36 players left here in this $500,000 guaranteed main event. And a very good evening to Donna in the chat. Miss Dark Angel, thank you for tuning in. So nice to see you.
9 race, 95,000.
This is the Swiss Poker Open, and this is bingo for bongo with Queen Jack suited in the cutoff. But as mentioned, bingo for bongo, very selective when entering a pot, but looks like the Queen Jack of diamonds is of interest to him. He puts in the 95,000. He doesn't want to hit diamonds, that's for sure. Dalibor folds in the big blind, and we're going to see Payam with the ace deuce suited versus bingo for bongo with the Queen Jack of the same suit. 7-4-4. Payam checks, bingo just check back. 8 on the turn. Ace high good here. Check back from bingo for bongo. Payam. I'm not sure, is this a value bet? What's the thinking behind this? But it's going to work, that's for sure. Bingo for bongo. It's just going to fold out the queen high. Payam gets his stack back up to 2.2 million. That is Dalibor Mijic. Seven-handed here in our feature table. This is Alberto under the gun who folds, and Payam with the Queen 6 gets out of the way. Mowgli with a pair. This guy has been really impressive. Mowgli. Small pair, pocket twos. Bingo for bongo down to 10 bigs. Dalibor under 20 bigs. This is Emile Bisset in the big blind position, but not interested. Mowgli takes down another one. Swiss Poker Open is what we're watching. Main event. 36 remain. That's the scoreboard. Bingo for bongo, 10 bigs. And on the other end of that chart, top end, is Fischer with 100 big blinds. 4 million stack. Really good structure, 50-minute clock here in day 2, and then we move to a 1-hour clock for the final day. We're going to pause the clock at 24 players. And then return tomorrow, 2:30 European time. But a lot of poker to be played between then and now. This is Payam. Big slick, suited. 100k in the pot pre-flop, 20,000, 40,000 blind level. Payam playing 2.2 million. Looks over at the clock, average is about 1.5 million. Makes it 80,000 min raise, it looks like. Well, it's 105. And look at this, incredible. Same hand from Ugly. So 3-bet incoming, you would think. Wow, interesting. Just flats with the ace king of diamonds. Bingo for bongo with jack 10 off. Emil Bise, 9-5 suited in the small blind. And Alberto, 6-3 off, getting a humongous price, but he just can't put in more chips with 6 high. Unsuited, unconnected. Spade draw from Payam. Now, Bise first to speak. He's missed. He does have the back doors, but he's checked his option. Emil Bise. On action now on Payam and Sarian, who's the pre-flop raiser. Mowgli has completely missed, but going to put in the 160,000. Bise will get out of the way. I'm sure he's finished. 9-5 does go into the bin. Payam and Sarian with the nut flush draw. Queen on the turn. $325. Well, it's going to be really difficult for Mowgli to continue here. Ace King, no pair. 350,000. He did slow play his hand pre-flop. There's no chance Payam is putting Mowgli on Ace King. It's the last hand he's going to put him on, given that he's Ace King himself. And wow, this is interesting. A raise here, it looks like. Min raise. This is really interesting. 750,000. It's basically a min raise, 725 in fact. And Payam, well, he does have a draw to the nuts, so he's not going to be folding. I expect Payam to call this race. And there's the call. 2.2 million in the pot. Both players with just about a half pot size bet behind. Now this is incredible. Payam has missed, so I think he gives up, he checks. And I think Mowgli, well, I mean, Mowgli, there's so much to win here. I think he goes for it once Payam checks. Payam does check. Well, a check back, this is going to be incredible. There's no way Mowgli's expecting a split. That was really interesting the way that was played. I'm really surprised Mowgli didn't go again from what we've seen of him. But I guess when that raise gets called on the turn, really difficult. That's what he's thinking about. Now, new arrival, Roberto Mascaro from Italy, 7-3 off. Now, bingo for bongo, 10 big blinds, 8 deuce offsuit, not much you can do. You can see the field size top right, 35 remain. 1.4 million average stack. Fisher. The big stack makes it 100. Danny moves in with the 8s. Emil Bise just folds out the king jack off. Alberto folds. And action with the big blind. Payam, he's going to fold, but Fisher's going to be calling. A6 suited. Mandatory call given the mathematics. well behind, but not as much as you would think. Ace 6 suited versus pocket eights, and the eights with the diamond blocking the potential flush, only 54%. I find it astounding, the equity. Well, different story now. Flush draw for Daniel kills some of Fisher's outs. Ace of spades, ace of hearts only. Two outer for Fisher to win and bust out. Danny doesn't happen. Danny gets the double. First hand, sits down, doubles through the chippy and brings him up to 610,000. 15 big blind stack. Something to play with now. Mandatory call there from Fisher, the chip leader. The Italian just arrived on the table, Roberto Mascaro. Now, Roberto under the gun, 5-3, super short. He's going to be posting 40% of his stack blind next hand. Bingo for bongo, folds the sixes, 10 big blind stack. Danny folds, Dalibor. Ace 5 folds, Emil Bisse, the Swiss poker superstar. You can see him sporting the World Series of Poker bracelet and 2 gold rings. Alberto now on the button with the 9-8. Playing just 13 bigs, and this is Payam. 2.2 million in the small blind with the Queen 9. He has the very tricky Mowgli in the big blind. 35 remain. All of these 35 players guaranteed 2K. Now, Payam, Queen 9 makes it 120,000. But we're going to see a 3-bet, I think, from Mowgli with Ace 10. Now, just waiting for Payam. I expect him to fold here. He's out of position, but he's getting sticky, and he doesn't believe Mowgli for a hand here. But Mowgli does have a genuine raising hand blind v blind. Queen 9 versus Ace 10. Well, Payam has smashed this. Top 2. Mowgli. Ace 10 will continue. Pretty horrible for Mowgli. Now, do we see a check raise from Payam? Or do we see a smooth call? Smooth call, of course, designed to entice Mowgli to blast off on Turner River. Payam going for the check raise, it looks like. In the hand, Mowgli just lets it go. But it leaves him down to 1.8 million. And Payam up to 2.7. Button moves, and the short stack now will be posting big blind and big blind ante. But the player on your screen, that's Payam and Sarian from the UK. Just stacking chips after winning that pot versus Mowgli. Mowgli posting small blind now. And in the big blind is the Italian you see on the very left of your screen there. Super short. And this is Bingo for Bongo, who's short himself. 10 bigs. Playing 400,000, Bingo for Bongo. Big blind 40,000. He folds the Queen 6 chip leader. Fisher folds. Danny out of the way, Dalibor folds. This is Emil Bisset. In the hijack, he'll be opening with the King Queen. 110,000. But Alberto will be 3-bet ripping all in, I expect. Just 515,000. 13 bigs. And there is the announcement of all in. Alberto with the re-raise now. Interesting spot. Payam at 9s, but just way too much action for him to continue. Of course, Alberto is just hating this because if he were to get called here, it'd be a disaster because he only gets called by better ace king or premium pair. 9s go in the bin. No chance Payam is going to continue here. It's just way too risky. And he just has 9s. He's Bisset who opened. And then Alberto, who's been playing really snug. Alberto with this 3-bet all-in rip. So Payam, I don't think it's credible that he puts money in here. There is also the factor that he's not closing the action. So he does have the problem of other players to act after him. So it's not going to happen. Payam and Sarian having a little chat with himself. Looks at the clock. He's going to be folding though. Meanwhile, you can see the field size down to 34. Nines do win the bin as expected. There's the very short Roberto and the big blind folding. Emil Bise asking for a count. 400k, another 10 bigs to call. It's not happening for Bise either. This will be a fold, and if you're Alberto, you're delighted that you're not getting snapped. The last thing you want to hear is a snap call when you 3-bet all in with ace queen. So the fact Emil Bise is tanking here, that's, well, ace king is not in his range, so that's your real fear, isn't it? Aces, kings, ace king. So once he's not snapped, he's pretty comfortable with the scenario. What? No way. Emil Bise makes the call, hoping that he's in a flip situation. Well, this is absolutely ideal for Alberto. He gets the hand he's flipping against to fold, and he gets the hand he's crushing to call. But he has to hold. But massive favourite. Ace queen versus king queen. I'm pretty surprised Emil called this. 5-8-3 flop. Emil Bise in real bad shape here because one of his kings has been folded pre, the king of clubs. Alberto firmly focused. Bise stoic as he looks at the board. And that is a great scenario for Alberto. Nines would have held, but he gets the king queen to call off and doubles through Emil Bise. Interesting. Did not expect that call from Bise, but he just decided to take a gamble, take a punt. And look at that, Alberto up to 28 bigs, 1.1 million, but Bise down to 420. 10.5 big blinds, bingo for bongo. 10 bigs, and look at Roberto Mascaro, 115,000. He'll have to post 20,000, which will leave him with 95 behind. Desperate times for Roberto. Fisher still up top there with 3.8 million. This is the Swiss Poker Open. We're broadcasting live from King's Resort. Place is absolutely buzzing here. 500,000 guaranteed event. Also currently running down to 21 players is the Swiss Poker High Roller. 25k up top in the high roller event. This is Danny with the king queen, makes it 80,000. Dalibor, well, hasn't been happening for him. Is he going to try and generate something here with the small pair? I mean, I'm just hating this flat call, I'll be honest. There's one of his fours in the bin, king 4. Folded right around to the player on the button here, Mowgli, who is a suited ace. He'll make the call, 80,000. Well, I'm putting it in if I'm Roberto. Suited, somewhat connected. Jack 9 of diamonds, but even though he's getting an enormous price, some serious value, he decides, you know what, I'm going to fold and leave myself with 2 bigs behind. Now, king queen versus fours versus ace 6 suited. Open ender for Mowgli. 2 overs for Danny. Dalibor actually in the lead with the fours and has the draw of his own. Danny checks. Dalibor checks. Mowgli open-ended. Won't be able to help himself here. Mowgli will fire. He might go big. 340 in the pot. He's going to bet about a $250,000. $225. Danny's going to lose interest. 2 overs, but not going to happen. But Dalibor, well, so difficult to flop well with these small pairs. I was surprised the way he played it. I would have preferred a 3-bet or a fold. Leaves himself with 650. 16 bigs. Mowgli back up to 2 million. Username 90210. I completely agree with you. Having said that, I don't think this field size is 95% amateur. In fact, I'm certain of it. This buy-in 500 plus 50. And straight away, Bisay, Mowgli, and El Barto. These are players that certainly I wouldn't class as amateurs. Fisher, the Hungarian, it's 4 to name. But yeah, totally agree where you're coming from. And as someone else called out, that's the beauty of it. Yes, that's the same username saying that in the same sentence. Makes it really entertaining. I love watching these streams. I really do. You see such mixed play. But you can see the characteristics of winning players. Certain features of their game. That's kind of a thread through all these successful players. Well, aggression certainly is one of the standout features. I mean, these blind versus blind confrontations, this is where it's at in a lot of these tournaments. Is optimal play when posting blinds. That's, I mean, you get that right, you are going to be a winning player without a doubt. So, another 10 minutes left in this 20,000, 40,000 blind level. Then we move to the 25, 50k level. Now, Bisay, it's going to be shoving, I expect. 10 bigs. What else are you going to do with ace queen? Except put it in Alberto. Ace 6. Doesn't qualify. Alberto folds. Payam will be folding the Jack 9. folded right around to Bingo for Bongos, down to 310,000. Wow. Not good. Danny short also 11 bigs behind after posting. We can't do anything with 9-5. Emil Bisset gets a stack up to 520,000. 13 bigs. Super experienced Bisset. Took a punt with that King Queen. But believe me, this gentleman is able to navigate these big fields. Really impressive record. Under the gun here, with blinds still at 20,000, 40,000. And I mean, we've two super short stacks. We have a player with two bigs, Roberto. Then we have a player on 7 bigs, which is Bingo for Bongo. And then a couple of players on 10 bigs. Alberto got his double through Bisset. He can breathe for a while. Payam, 2.8 million. He's been solid. Mogley, this guy has been the player for me. I really love this guy. Very creative. Now, Roberto, let's do this. 2 bigs. 95k all in. Bingo for Bongo with King Jack. I'd be tempted. 7 bigs. But he decides to fold Danny with King Jack in the small blind. Well, this could be an opportunity. Dalibor. Puts his money in. I mean, it's not costing him 60k. 55 is the amount. So of course he's going to call with only 293 off. This is Roberto Mascaro. I thought Danny might take that opportunity to rip in the small blind. Get heads up versus the shorty. Two nines folded, so just one out. Well, a lot more outs now, because not only does 9 help him, but a jack would give him a straight. Doesn't happen for Dalibor. Roberto gets his double and a bit. Gets that BB ante also. So it brings him up to quarter mil. A little bit of breathing space, but still under severe pressure with the big blind at 40,000. 6 bigs. Is that right? Yeah, 6 big blinds. And then right next to him, we have Bingo for Bongo on 300k, which is 7 bigs. Coming towards the end of this 20k, 40k line level. Now, Payam, Queen 10, under the gun +1. But it's Roberto who moves in with the Queen Jack. 250 all in. And it's folded right around to Bisset, who's getting a superb price, but he actually folds Bisset. The Jack 9, Roberto, up to 350. Everything is possible. Coming towards the end of this level as outlined. We're going to be having a break in a couple of moments. Then we're going to be back for the 25k, 50k blind level. I don't expect this to last more than one, perhaps two levels, before we get down to 3 tables, 24 players, and then back tomorrow for the final. Swiss Poker Open final day tomorrow, Monday, 2:30 kickoff. Going to see these players battle out for the lion's share of the $500,000 guaranteed prize pool. Fisher with the King 7, but Dalibor on the button with the Ace 10. So Dalibor moves all in with the Ace 10. You'd expect this would get the job done. It does. Fisher makes the fold. And that's the end of blind level. We are going on a quick break, back in about 15 minutes. Do join us then for the conclusion of the Swiss Poker Open Day 2.
Now come and hang out at the King's Lounge, located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena, to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. Hey man, how's it going? Take a seat. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. Hey man, have to go and take a seat. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut.
So blind level now 25,000, 50,000. You can see the graphic there showing the same situation just before the break. The chip leader, big stack, is a Fischer, the Hungarian, who's been pretty much in control. You can see him just taking a seat there. So 9 players on our feature table. The blind level is 25,000, 50,000. We have 34 players left in the event. All of these 34 remaining players, they're guaranteed 2K. So we're off. Under the gun, a Mogley, King 9 folded. This is the short stack player. Field size actually down to 33 now. And Roberto's picked up an ace. I think he could be shipping here. 7 bigs. Well, he decides against it. Bingo for bongo. 6 bigs. 10 deuce, no good. Going to be interesting. Next few hands with these guys posting. Danny, super short also. Jack 9 off. Dalibor, same situation. 13 bigs for Dalibor. Emil Bisset, also short. I mean, there's a bunch of short stacks on this table. And this is Alberto, 20 big blinds. 8-7 suited. But Payam should be raising here with ace 9. There's a raise as expected, 165. And Alberto looks back down at his 8-7 suited. Very attractive looking hand, but you want to be getting flops cheap. 115,000. More to see a flop. Well, he thinks this is full of potential for him, so he puts in the 115,000. We're going to go and see a flop. 8-7 of clubs versus the ace-9. Now, good shot for Alberto, but ace-9 still in the lead. Backdoor clubs to go along with the straight draw, and now he makes a pair, but that gives a Payam a good shot. Alberto in the lead though. Checks Payam. Could have won this on the flop perhaps, but he checks back his good shot. 3 on the river, 8-7 with the check mark 100% for Alberto. Third pair. Considering a value bet. But I think he just goes check call mode here on the river. That 3 of clubs insignificant. Well, value bets and gets paid off. Massive pot for Alberto. 1.4 million now. Brings him up to 28 bigs. Lines 25,000, 50,000. Six big blind rip with the ace-10, but Danny, I think, will go with this. 8 bigs, 8.5 big blinds, pocket eights, bingo for bongo. It's got to be shoving there with quite a wide range, so Danny puts it in with the eights. It's folded right around to the blinds. This is Payam who's going to be folding the 5-4 suited. Mowgli snap folds the jack-9. We're going to go to a straight race. 2 short stacks, bingo for bongo with the ace-10. Danny slight favourite with the pocket pair. Field size 31 top right, you can see. Danny with the good shot, but bingo for bongo makes a pair. Danny needs to make a set or a jack for a straight. 4 in the turn. Danny under pressure. Doesn't happen for him. Ace-10 doubles. Bingo for bongo. Wins the pot, 745k. He wins the flip. Danny now left down to Shrapnel. I think he's about 130k behind now after doubling up. Bingo for bongo.
Scusa, ma hai fatto scala te?
No, ce l'ho io.
Non è scala.
No, manca il jack.
E il jet è lì.
No, quello è capo.
Ah, Capper.
Se no...
E che cosa ti vedevo oggi?
No, no, magari...
Capper arriva.
Sì, sì, capo.
Hey guys, good luck.
Vieni tu di nuovo, che ho perso un lì.
And there's the state of play here at the feature table of the Swiss Poker Open Day 2. Danny, 120k, 2 big lines. Roberto, fellow Italian, also short Emile Bise, under 10 bigs. And same story, top of that chart, Fisher, sitting on 3.6 million. Average stack is about 1.7 million, about 35 bigs. So a lot of short stacks on this feature table. Expect carnage throughout this level. Now, Danny with the ace-8 suited. Puts it in, of course he does. 2 big blinds, gotta do it. Fold it right around to BC. We'll be folding the 8-6 and now Alberto. He folds and Payam Asarian 9-8. Well, this is just incredible that Roberto folds there. Roberto's got a call there. I mean, he's getting extraordinary price. I mean, I know he's just 4 high, but he is suited, he's connected. He's highly likely to be live. And it looks like tables are being balanced. Bingo for bongo is being moved. Now, all in again from Danny with the ace queen. Big blind. 50k, he's just 5 bigs. Ace queen suited, it does go in. You can see the field size down to 30. It's folded right around to Payam, who's going to be folding in the cut-off, the 10-4 offsuit. Roberto, just perplexed how he didn't call that last shove. Folds in the small blind, but Fisher makes a call with an ace. Of course he does, he has to. Just 4 bigs for him to call, less than 4 bigs. Has an ace, but Danny in great shape here to get back into the tournament. Could get a stack up to 11 big blinds. If he can hold here, big favourite. 79% equity, 4-1 favourite. Flops, good shot. Backdoor spades. Fisher needs a 6. There's 1 6 in the bin, just 6 of hearts, 6 of clubs out there. 5 of diamonds on the turn. Danny, back in business. 11 bigs.
Anche una mia vittoria in questa mano. Sai cosa avevo? No. Asse 9.
Asse 9.
Perdevo
Up to
anche
565.
Sì, perdevo.
non ho voluto collare. Anche se c'è una cosa. È stata una mia vittoria. Visto che si stava preparando lui.
Ho visto da me anni.
Danny posting ante and big blind. Under the gun will be Dalibor Mijic. I think Dalibor is playing around 700k, which is about 14 bigs. Well, it's 675, 13 and a half bigs. Queen 5 will go into the bin, and Avise playing just 429 bigs. Roberto, he's been super solid all day. Folds the Queen Jack, 30 players left. Pyam folds. Now, Mogley folded around to him in the cutoff. He's going to open with the Jack 8. Roberto Mascaro. Just 225,000. 4.5 big blinds. Fisher in the small blind with 10-8 suited. He's going to put in the 75k. And Danny getting a big price, but given his stack size and his hand strength, I'd expect him to just muck this 9-4. And now we're going to go to a flop. Fisher with the 10-8 suited. Mowgli has position, Jack 8 offsuit. Well, actually, Fisher didn't call there, so Mowgli took down the pot. So the very left-hand side of your screen is the shortest stack, but all these three guys, Daniel and Dalibor and Bisay, there in the centre of your screen, they're all short. Bisay is going to move in here. 8.5 bigs. He's posting next hand, so I think it all goes in. Ace 9 suited. Does go in. 30 players remain from 1,039, and it looks like it's the end of the line for Emil Abise. He's run into it here. Ace 9. All in rip for 8 bigs, which is pretty standard. I don't blame him for doing this. But he's run into a massive hand here. Pyam going to be calling. Announces call. I mean, Bisay just hates that, but he's got spade draw. Ace is good. Roberto folds. Fisher gets out of the way and Danny folds, so just Dalibor in the big blind who folds ace 5. That's not good for Emil Bisay, one of his aces in the dustbin. I mean, it's always incredible how much equity one has with an ace in their holdings. And ace-9 suited versus queens with an ace in the bin, and Bise with that ace still 36%. Payam and Sarian pocket queens, and that is top set, but the nut flush for Emil Bise still close to 30%. King on the turn. Now he has the straight draw to go along with the flush draw. A 10 would work, but it doesn't happen. 8 on the river, 8 of diamonds, no spade, no 10. And the Swiss superstar, total gent, huge character in these parts. And you can see him wishing all the players the best. He goes to the rail. Emil Bise busting out in 30th place of the Swiss Poker Open main event. High roller down to 2 tables, 18 players. But we're down to 29 players here. In the main event. 7-handed on our feature table after we lose Emil Bise. $28 remain, 1.8 million average stack. Payam and Sarian. We're on a money jump, so you can see that's the reason for Roberto taking his time. 28 remain. At 27, all these players go up to 2,330 euro. Of course, there's 81,900 up top. Now, sixes for Fisher. Makes it 1.2 million. And look at this, Alberto with the goods. Pocket aces. Well, this is a huge shove. 1.3 million, it's not going to get called.
Sorry. 1.250. A little more. Sorry.
And, wow, this is massive. Alberto gets the money over the line. Fisher makes the call with the sixes. This was a huge shove. 26 bigs. And Fisher calls with the sixes. Alberto in great shape here for a 2.7 million pot. Meanwhile, we're down to 28 players, top right, showing 28 from 1,039 entries. Now, top set, and you can see Alberto just going, okay, no 8, no 4, it's over. Queen on the turn gives the 100% check mark to Alberto, who wins a ginormous pot here, 2.7 million. Fisher takes a huge hit, and that brings Alberto second in chips on this feature table. What a turnaround for this guy. was just told he bet 1.2 million pre-flop, Fisher, which makes a lot more sense. 1.2 million. I mean, the big blind is 50k. So I don't know, was that a mistake with the graphics? Was it 120,000 he bet? I'm not sure. But he could bet 1.2 million just to show that he was committed to the pot. He was putting pretty much all the players all in with his sixes. He wasn't folding to a 3-bet, that's what he was saying. And just getting confirmation, no mistake, he put 1200k chips in. Well, that makes a lot more sense. How that was played, perfect timing really, if you're Alberto. Big stack putting you all in, you look down at aces. $27 remain, 1.9 million average stack. So we're going to see this seat being filled. In fact, 2 empty seats. Bingo for Bongo was moved to the outer table. That seat's empty, and we have Emile Bisset's seat vacant also. So with just 27 players, we're going to have one of the outer tables broken and then players dispersed, filling up all the 3 remaining tables, which will give us 3 nines, 27 players. Now, super short, Roberto, he's going to be all in next hand. Danny's short, also 440k, 9 bigs. Dalibor 11 bigs. And this is Alberto on the button with a pair, 2.7 million. What a turnaround. Two big stacks side by side here. Alberto and Payam Ansarian. So 100k button raise with the deuces. Payam in the small blind with king 10 off. What's in the call, and Mowgli in the big blind with 8-5 getting a big price, and he hits the flop. He makes trips. That's why you defend with 8-5 when getting them kind of odds. And you can see the players coming from the table that's been broken. Now, 10 on the turn. It gives Payam 2 pair. But Mowgli with the trips 350 in the pot. $180,000. Mogley, considering his options. 10 makes a straight. Queen 9, 7, 9. Gets there. Flush draw there. So Mogley raises it up, it looks like. And these guys have history. Payam and Mogley. 380k raise. Payam is not a believer. Puts in the 200,000. 1.1 million in the pot. Full house for Mogley. Sizing so important. How big does he go? That's the question. 1.1 million in there. Looks like about 550, 600k. It's 800,000. Huge. Huge bet. 75% pot size bet. Payam with just 2 pair. A lot has happened between these two players over the last hour. They've played some interesting hands. And this is one of the factors in why Payam called the raise there on the turn. And he doesn't look too convinced, but 800,000 is 35% of his remaining stack. "27 players remain. All these players guarantee 2,300 and a bit. This is Payam and Sarian. Trying to figure this one out. Mowgli, very tricky, capable of pulling any kind of move. Payam folds in the end. Mowgli up to 2.5 million. And now you can see Roberto on the very right hand side of the table. He's going to be all in blind here, pretty much. He's about 250. Going to have to post 100 of a stack. 50k big blind, 50k big blind ante. There's the 50k for the big blind ante. And there's another 50k. I think it leaves him with about 125k behind, something like that. So he's totally committed to this hand. He's got to be putting his money in with any two, in my opinion. 27 from 1,039 remain. Now, Alberto, 2.6 million. He's been very impressive. But I mean, picking up the aces against the big stack. When the big stack open for like 1.2 million. Open for 24x. And then the big blind looks down at aces. What a great scenario. Aces hold. Now he's sitting on 2.6 million. He opens here for 100,000 with the king 10 suited. Payam sitting on the same stack, 2.6 million. Got away from that last river bet from Mowgli. This guy is very tricky, Mowgli. 9-3 off folds, and now Roberto with 125 behind. He's got to put it in. He really has to. Well, I don't understand it, but I guess Jack 3 off is just, well, it's pretty much the trashiest of trash hands, but given the mathematics of it, leaves himself with 2.25 bigs. Now Fisher under the gun with the queen 10, 2.2 million. Folds. Cards are flipped. Danny under the gun +1. He's short also. Just playing 9 bigs. Dalibor is short, 11 bigs. This is David Taborski, King's Reg, playing 1.5 million. He folds. Roberto folds. Payam here, 2.6 million in the cutoff, 10-7 suited. Field size has been reduced. You can see the graphic top right. It is down clicked once more to 26. We're going to pause the clock at 24 players. So just another couple of bust outs before we pause play for the night. Payam Assyrian making it 125. Roberto with two bigs behind. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. Roberto folds the Queen 5. Lady Luck 17. With a baby ace unsuited in the big blind. Decides not to defend, and Payam takes down the pot. "26 players left in this Swiss main event. Our feature table here with several short stacks. This is two of them, Danny and Dalibor side by side. David Taborski, King's Reg, folding the King 5. Alberto will fold the King 3. Payam should be opening here in the hijack with Ace 7. Makes it 125. Roberto has 100k behind. Dalibor with an ace under the gun. Ace 4 in the dustbin. David Taborski folds. Ace 6. Alberto folds. And we're going to see Payam open once again. Third hand in a row. Ace 10 suited on this occasion. You can see the field size. 26 players from 1,039. Still at the 25k, 50k blind level, but not long left in this level before we go to 30-60. Can't see this lasting too much longer, given that we're going to pause the clock when down to 24. This is Lady Luck on the button. Fisher, King Queen small blind, puts in the additional 100k. And Danny, he's super short. 7 behind, 7 bigs. 9-4 offsuit. What can he do with it? 75,000. Getting close to 5-1, but just too weak a hand. And 75,000, a huge percentage of his stack he folds. Well, he would have hit. Fisher has missed. Payam continues. Fisher out of position. No connection here to this board.
No, I don't think so. Nothing here. I'm sure
lets it go, and I am now up to 3 million in chips.
You, my dealer.
That's the scoreboard, 9-handed here. We have 3 tables in play, 9 on this feature table, and then we have 2 other tables, one with 8 players, one with 9 players. 26 left, and look at Roberto Mascaro grinding out with 2 bigs. We have Danny on 6 bigs, Dalibor 10 big blind stack. It's desperate times really, and 2 short stacks in the blinds here. This is Alberto, 4 high, no good. Payam, well, he's going to fold, I believe, the 7-5. In action, we'll move on to Mowgli, who folds. Roberto lets it go, but Lady Luck with a suited king in the cutoff. 1.3 million he's going to open. Makes it 125,000, but Fisher, suited ace on the button, could be 3 betting here.
4, 8, 3, 55.
Danny has to fold in the small blind, leaves himself with just 6 bigs behind, but Dalibor may make a stand here. A lot of interest shown, but ace 10 could be too strong for him not to make a move. He folds the best hand. Lady Luck, I think, just folds the king 6, and Fisher, that 3 bet will steal a pot. Lady Luck 17, king 6 of diamonds. Fisher scoops the pot. 2.2 million stack now for Fisher. Button moves Danny, playing just 6 bigs. Then we have in the small blind Dalibor with just about 9 bigs. Very left of your screen, Roberto, 2 big blinds. Mowgli, pocket tens. Big blind 50k. We're going to see an open here. 125 it looks like from Mowgli. Well, it's a min raise, 100,000. Fisher 3 bets with the suited ace. Daniel, oh boy, desperate stuff. 6 bigs, ace 5 suited, but there's so much action. Has to let it go. Dalibor folds 8 bigs behind. And David Taborski, we haven't seen him play a hand yet, but you can't blame him, given he's picking up pure trash. 4-2 in the big blind on this occasion. He lets it go. Now, Mowgli gets 3 bet from the aggressive Hungarian. Mowgli makes the call, and he's going to be sticking around on this board. Mowgli checks Fisher, checks back. 7 on the turn, 10's good. Mowgli happy to get to showdown. Well, he's going to be check calling. If Fisher decides to fire, Fisher checks back. And there it is. Oh, it's nasty. Ace on the river. Fisher with the check mark now, the 100%. Checks back. Looks at tens and the ace 8 wins a very sizable pot. That hurts.
English in the hand. 9 pass.
Mogley with Queen Jack
Raise 100.
makes it 100,000,
2 pass.
and Roberto 2 bigs behind. He folds.
3 pass. 4 pass. 5 pass. 6 pass. 7 pass. 8 pass. Come on.
And 25 players now left. About to go to the 30,000, 60,000 level. So, final 3 table bubble. 25 remain. We're going to pause the clock at 24 players.
One pass, 2 pass.
$22 bigs for Lady Luck,
3
who
raise.
looks down at ace 10. He's going to open.
4 pass.
First hand we've seen him play ace 10. He makes it 100,000. Danny with ace 9, 6 bigs. Lets it go.
6 pass.
Dalibor folds. This is David Taborski with the King Jack on the button, 1.4 million. 28 big blinds in a stack.
7 pass. 8 pass. 9 pass. No, switch there. Yes, to the move this deck I can give We need to give him cards. Lines up 30,000, 60,000, 60,000. It's more than 30,000.
And there's the announcement of the new blind level, 30-60. Which leaves Roberto with 1.5 big blinds. He has to put his money in blind here. Okay, he's posting blind next hand. Everything. All in blind next hand. This is Fisher, who's going to open with ace jack, 2.6 million. Makes it 150. Danny folds. Dalibor might go with this. 7 big blinds, picks up a pair, pocket sevens. It's interesting. Fisher, very aggressive, so doesn't surprise me to see Dalibor announce all in with the sevens.
8 pass. 9 pass. 1 pass.
Snap call from Fisher. Has to getting clarity on the amount first before he puts in the money, but Fisher always making this call, and we're going to see a straight race. Pocket pair versus 2 over, sevens versus ace jack. Dalibor Mijic, the player at risk, the Croatian, with the sevens, and that's not good. Jack high board. Does have a backdoor straight possibility. 2 clean outs. That's not one of them. Fisher makes 2 pair in the lead. 7 and 7 only for Dalibor. Doesn't happen, it's over for him. He's Busto. Eliminated. Last player to be eliminated on day 2. He goes out in 25th position. Will receive €2,330. But all of these remaining 24 players will be back tomorrow to play for that 81,900 plus the World Series of Poker Europe main event seat. It's been really interesting feature table. Incredible that I mean, Roberto has made the final day with 1 big blind. Incredible stuff. High roller still running. 2 tables left in the Swiss Poker Open High Roller. But we're down to 24 in the main event. We're going to pause the clock. We're going to be back tomorrow for the final day. We're going to kick off at 2:30 live from the resort, and we're going to see these players battle it out. That's your TD with the chip bags. Dealer will distribute the bags. Players will bag up. They'll get a few hours sleep and then back tomorrow. Good night from King's Resort. See you tomorrow.